They start dancing though with Stevie Wonder.
Rolling.
We live, baby.
Yes, sir.
Sir, tap in.
Tap
Tap
in.
in, tap in. All right, so Representative Al Green, he just did he previously was on the Breakfast Club, addressing the situation where he was thrown out from the joint session of Congress, and he was pretty much explaining how he was trying to take his stance on fighting for Medicaid. Let's see what he's talking about.
Fight for Medicaid, boy. You fighting the ghost because ain't nobody.
The other night, when you stood up and you spoke out at is it the State of the Union?
No, it
It's
was
the
a
joint
session of
joint
Congress.
session of Congress. When you
Yes.
stood up
Joint
and
session, it's a difference, right?
Congress. I think what's getting lost is what you actually said.
Yes,
Thank you.
prior
And
to
you
the State
said
of the
that
Union.
you have no mandate on Medicare.
No mandate to cut Medicaid.
Medicaid.
No mandate to cut. Literally, friends, I had my coat, my cane, and I was about to make my exit because I really didn't want to sit through what I knew the president would do. So as I was about to make my exit, he made this statement about his mandate. And I said to him, you have no mandate to cut Medicaid. And by the way, I didn't come to say that. I did not. It was spontaneity. It was just something.
Spirit moved you.
Yes. So I said it. And of course, the speaker admonished me. He said that I should take a seat. But at the moment, I had to make the point. So I said it again. The speaker admonished me again. And the speaker did his job. He said, well, you got to be removed. And so I was evicted. And by the way, the officers who evicted me were very kind. They didn't say anything to me that was out of order. They were very kind to me. But it didn't matter to me what the consequences were. And I've shared this with other people. John Lewis and I were friends. And we talked about this notion of peaceful protest. And a part of it is not just getting in the way, as he put it. You have to get in the way. You have to be disruptive. People are not going to like you, some. But when you do this, you have to also be prepared to suffer the consequences.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I hate to sound mean right now, but I got to point this out. With those ears that he got, why is it hard for him to hear what Trump been saying all this time? He's never said he's had a mandate. Trump has never said he had a mandate to change Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, any of them. He's also answered in multiple press conferences on multiple times within the same press conferences. He even get tired of asking them asking him the same question. He is not touching it.
That's what I was about to say, because I went to go look back to see like if did he I don't know if that's something Al Green heard that we didn't hear about him, mandating, but he's basically saying that's why he actually, stood up. That's why he turned around, because he heard Trump say something about, he had a mandate to cut Medicaid, and Trump back in 2024 he did he said that he was going to protect certain programs, including Medicaid. So that's if he's going back and saying that he's mandating to cut Medicaid, then he can't. I mean, I'm not gonna say he can't do that, but I think there's a program that you can't be saying that in your campaign and then what I'm saying, come
Do
back.
the opposite.
Right, he said like 2-3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? They kept asking him that same question. He said, "Man, how many times do I got to answer this question? I am not touching it." Elon Musk, they specifically said they are attacking the fraud within the program, not the program itself.
Right.
The fraud within the program. There's people that's getting paid. That's like you said. That's over 100 years old, man. That's almost over 200 years old. You got one person over 300 years old. So yes,
Al Green walking out.
He's going to stop those payments. He's not stopping all payments. What part of that is nobody hearing? You know what I'm saying? All they heard was, man, we're taking
Medicaid.
Now Medicaid. That's all you heard.
I was about to say. Al Green walking out. He heard Medicaid. He was like, "Hold on now. I was about to leave. Now you can't be, talking about no Medicaid. I got to see what you're talking about." But
they're sitting up in there with signs up talking about save Medicaid.
And nobody said cut Medicaid.
Yeah.
What are we saving something that ain't being cut? That's why I was saying right before we started. He fighting the ghost. because nobody said anything about cutting it. They said they're going to look into it, but nobody said anything about cutting anything, except for the federal government cutting some of that. He definitely said that.
Yeah.
But he ain't say nothing about cutting Medicaid. He ain't say nothing about cutting Social Security. But at the rate that we going, by the time I'm old, there ain't gonna be no Social Security. If it keeps going the way that it's going right now.
They talking about the next 10 years.
That's 2039.
2035.
Yeah, the key words you just said, if things keep going the way it has been going, and that's why they're trying to change it so they can actually do what them signs said that they had hanging in there. Save it.
It's crazy, man. And when you stop paying attention and you just base yourself off of listening to someone that you like, I don't even think people that follow the Democrat Party, to be honest with you, I don't even think they really like them. They just dislike Trump.
And he said he was about to make an exit. What I mean is, like, what did he even come in there for? He just came in there to make an exit?
That was his protest.
Yeah.
Huh? That was his protest?
I would guess.
Well, they must have been in there quite longer than what we saw in the video then.
He said it in there. He said he went there to leave, to walk out. He said that was his purpose of going there, to walk out.
Okay.
Which that don't make no sense. I'm gonna go there just so I can leave.
Yeah.
So why go?
I mean, a lot of people do stage walkouts though, you know.
Yeah, but that don't. Yeah, I get that, but what sense does it make? Because it doesn't make a difference.
None at all.
What do you change by leaving, other than them being glad that you left?
Yeah.
Like the protest, if you're gonna do a protest, at least let it have some type of value. Let it mean something. Going there to walk out. What did you do? Man, you just showed your face. Hey, I was there, and they seen me leave. Wow, look how strong I am.
A waste of time. He could have been doing something constructive. Yeah.
Let's see what else you're talking about.
Joe Wilson when he did it, and Republicans. That's what happened the other night. It made a weak party look weaker. You looked strong.
Exactly. That's what we were saying in the last podcast. They were sitting there looking weak.
And I was sitting there wondering, well, why is nobody else standing up with that brother? Why is nobody else walking out with that brother in that moment? To me, it just shows you how cowardly the Democratic Party is.
Did you feel that way?
I was gonna say, did you feel like people should have left with you?
Yeah. Do you feel like if we leave, like, you know, one leave, we all leave. But together, we united.
Let me give you a proper predicate before I go to this specific point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Democrat because I love the notion of being a Democrat. I don't have another option. This is the option that's available to me, the best option available to me.
That's the best option for him, man. That's the only option he got. There's not. I mean, of course, he don't want to be Republican, but hey, forget about independence. The only option he got is Democratic. All right, cool. I hope all of y'all think that, so y'all can keep doing the same thing y'all doing, so we ain't got to worry about no more Democratic parties running the White House no more. Because keep this up, ain't nobody voting for you in the future at all. Keep it up, man. You doing a good job helping. I bet you the Republican. Hey, JD Vance, man, go ahead and start your inauguration. Go ahead get your stuff prepped up because they just won the election for you in 2025 for 2028.
Get ready, JD.
VP Ramaswamy.
Yep.
Have a mandate to cut Medicaid. Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, they are the foundation of what we call the safety net. And we have to protect them. And with Social Security, somewhere around 2035, we're going to have a shortfall. And we're going to have to do something to make sure that Social Security continues to make its timely payments. I have said we should raise the cap, meaning persons who make more than $176,100, I believe is the cap, let's make them pay into the system too. Right now, if you make $176,100, all of your money is taxed for Social Security.
Man,
how y'all feel about that?
That make me want to go fill out me a W-8 form and stop letting Social Security come up out of my check.
We need to
'Cause,
recap on that because I didn't catch everything he said. What was he talking about? I just caught the last part of it. Got
He was
interrupted.
he was talking about trying to save it, and then he brought up. 'Cause I said 2039, but he said in 2035, where it's going right now, it's gonna be done, and he's trying to raise the cap on it. Anybody making over 176,000 a year should pay into it. Why should someone pay into something that they're not going to receive on the back end? Because people that's making that type of money, they're not going to, you know what I'm saying, get Social Security when they get older. But they supposed to pay in it for someone else to collect it though. Think about that. You put your money into Social Security, even though you make a certain amount of money, you ain't gonna collect on it when you retire. You ain't gonna collect on nothing. But you're supposed to pay more, so Social Security continue on. Instead of stopping the fraud that you're doing right now, so we don't have to reach to that point. Instead, let's make someone else pay, so we can keep doing fraud. Basically, what he's saying, man, stop it.
Yeah, that seems like the big point that's being missed. Stopping the fraud. Because there's a lot of money being wasted going to places that it shouldn't be going. And once we're able to recover it, there's going to be money sitting there to go where it needs to go if they put it in the right places.
Yeah, they say when you tax the rich, man, you really taking away from charity, because you know now rich people ain't gonna want to give as much charity as they can because they're getting taxed so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it also they charge more for their product because they getting taxed on the back end.
Yep.
People don't understand the significance of tax, and when some of these bigger corporations get their tax cuts, it actually makes their product cheaper. But if you tax them more, they're gonna get their money back because they're gonna charge more for the product. People don't understand the economy; they just want their self remedy instead of understanding how the economy works.
Yeah, but I like one of his points he made though. I mean, it's like instead of raising the age, because basically either way, us as black men, you're gonna pay into a system that it's not an investment at that point, because he said we're gonna most likely die off before we even get to reap the benefits. So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know with that, because I would rather the lesser of two evils would be that, you know what I mean? Because we're not, then if you raise it to like age 70 or something, a lot of people aren't even making it to that age. So I mean, you pay an extra $5, $10, well, I mean $20 on your check. That's better than having to wait 5 years and so many people die off without even reaping any benefits. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I missed that part too.
He's gonna say it a little bit later on, because he said which one would you rather have? But I mean, like I said, you got to be another solution. But I definitely wouldn't advise raising the age.
So
I think the age is already old enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
who's trying to raise the age limit?
I didn't research any of that, but he mentioned that in there. So I guess that must be like one of the, you know what I'm saying? Like
I think he did say, but he's doing the Democratic thing. He's trying to say Trump is trying to raise the age on it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't do any research. I don't know if Trump said that or not, or if that's something the Democrats or.
But they've lied so much. If you hear anything come from the Democratic Party, just take it as a lie.
I don't know. Both parties
found no facts.
That's
have you found any facts though on the left?
You can't. It's facts on both sides though. Both lies.
Well, that's why I asked. I haven't seen any. I want you to show me, because I can show you a whole bunch of facts on the right.
Yeah, I mean, it's facts on both sides. It's lies on both sides. That's how I look at it. That's why I say I look at myself more independent with stuff. I like, okay, I take this, you know what I'm saying, juggle both hands type deal.
Yeah.
That's important. And for Medicare, we've got to make sure that we maintain this program. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, they benefit Americans. We have a society where people can walk into places, typical stores, be millionaires, and nobody mugs you. You know, people who have much can visit places where people who have little and walk away. In many societies, you have to have armed guards with you. I may have to have one after what's happened here lately, but you have to have armed guards and you have to be protected. But we have a peaceful society because of the way we treat people in the dawn of life and in the twilight of life. And I'm going to do what I can to help them.
You said your armed security, is it just you've been receiving like threats and stuff, or like
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to think that they started with this, but
okay.
they've increased.
Intensified.
Yes. I have Crystal can pull up some of those and you can hear them if you'd like, but people, they don't think very much of my mother and my lineage, and they think that it would be appropriate for me to wear a rope as a necktie.
If he needs armed security, man, the people that's sending this man threats, y'all need. Even if you are on the right or you're a Republican, conservative, man, if you threatening this man, he walking around with a cane, man. If you threaten someone that's walking around with a cane, man, you need to go look in the mirror, but you a chump.
Yeah.
I don't even agree with 90% of the stuff that comes out of his mouth. But one thing I would not do is threaten that man. Come on.
Yeah, I ain't down with that either. Yeah.
Just don't know, and to fire people in mass indicates to me that you just don't respect the humanity and dignity of people that you don't know. There is no due process associated with this process. Elon Musk becomes the arbiter of due process. A guy
do
with
take a hell of a man to
chainsaw
fire people in mass,
who
though.
is worth more.
What'd you say? What did you say?
Oh, I said it do take a hell of a person to go fire people in mass like that, though. But you know what I'm saying? If, like y'all, if you say that they're not qualified, I get it. But I feel like there's a process. You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot of jobs and everything lost. So I kind of get what you're saying.
That's the art of capitalism. That's the art of free market economy.
Yeah, I've seen a few people talking about them losing their federal jobs. How it kind of.
I know a few people, but
did they tell you why they lost their job?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
A lot of people be boo-hooing, man.
It's just
he fired everybody. Well, you probably got fired because you wasn't doing shit. So I ain't gonna feel sorry for you. Oh well, you know what I'm saying. If you feel like it takes a strong man to fire a mass of people, we need to start looking at ourselves then. Because man, what if I got 1,000 people that ain't getting shit done? Send me. I send. All right, people. I got all of y'all. I got everybody here. All right, y'all ain't meet quota, man. We're gonna go ahead and let y'all go.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, even if they were getting stuff done, it was probably being wasted. They probably didn't need that many people there.
That's why I say certain programs that was funding their jobs is what caused a good bit of people to lose it. But like you said, if some of those programs wasn't legit,
That's why it'd be so easy to let them go. Now, it's for one thing, if it was hardworking people and the circumstances was tough, now that's different. But a whole bunch of wasteless spending, a whole bunch of wasteless programs, man, what send them off with ease? We'll holler.
More than anybody else, it seems, who believes that he can make decisions that impact people that he just does not know in an arbitrary and capricious way. I think he's a menace to dignity. He's also a threat to democracy. A threat to democracy because the Supreme Court has led him to believe that he's above the law. He's not, in theory, de jure, de facto, maybe. But in theory, he's not.
Paul's right there. He just said something a lot of people don't understand, whether y'all know it or not. Let's gonna go over a lot of people's heads. Some people that's gonna see this video later in the comments. Let me know, man. Tune in. Let me know that y'all peeped it. But your government's already de facto. Your government's been de facto since 1933, man. You got to understand your history. You don't have a de jure government.
What is de facto?
It's colorable law. So when you got the police officers, whether you know it or not, they're enforcing policy. They're not enforcing laws. There's no law that says you're supposed to have a driver's license. There's no law that says you're supposed to have a seatbelt on. The law is if you don't deprive no one, you don't defraud or injure them or their property, you did not commit no crime. All crimes today are commercial crimes. Driving is a commercial term. You are not a driver. You are a traveler. See, they switched everything, and you're up on a public policy. You got to understand House Joint Resolution 192. You got to go back in history a little bit. I don't want to get too far off a topic with this guy here, but like I said, you got to understand your history. You're not under a de jure government. You're under a de facto. That's why all your states have a Duns and Bradstreet number. It is a corporation. The state of Florida, the state of South Carolina, that is a corporation. Mm-hmm. United States is not a country. It is located in the 10 square miles of District of Columbia. It is a corporate federal corporation. It is not a country. You live in North America. You've been bamboozled. Sorry, but you got to understand your history. And I know some people are gonna say, "Oh boy, you crazy." Well, he talking like a sovereign citizen, and that is an oxymoron. You can't be sovereign and a citizen of a corporation. It's an oxymoron. But anyway, like I said, I don't want to go too far over everybody's head. Understand your history, people. It is a de facto government. And I know Trump, they're going to somebody, well, Trump, well, yeah, it's fake. All right, but at least he's doing it inside of the de facto government. He's the best you got.
Yeah, I heard something like this. A lady was telling me about de facto, and she's from Maine, but she was telling me how, although like segregation laws, supposedly no longer exist, she was saying how due to what you were just talking about, in Maine, like it's still like the police can still, arrest a black man for being out past 9 p.m. That's in Maine. So I don't know how true. Yeah, that's a lady I used to work with, and she's a white woman. She was telling me this. She was like, yeah, she was telling me about the fact though. This ain't my first time hearing that, but I didn't understand it when she was explaining it to me. But it's basically what she was saying. She was like, the law still exists,
It do. You got to understand the difference, and then when you start to operate yourself in that manner, trust me, there's a lot of things that can go in your way. Trust me, on none of my paperwork, I do not put U.S. citizen. I am not a citizen of no federal corporation. I'm a citizen of America. Matter of fact, even if you listen to the politicians when they speak, they always say the American people. You'll never hear them say nothing about a U.S. citizen, because U.S. citizen ain't a thing. They know it. They'll tell you the American people. Or they'll just say citizens of America. They'll never say U.S. citizens. Pay attention to how these people speak. But once you read laws like I do, I pay attention. As soon as he said de facto, boom, I already knew where he was going. Because I understand the bullshit.
He's not above the law, but he believes he is. He has an inordinate amount of influence over the House of Representatives and the Senate. I've seen people who I thought had great principles just cave, as it were, give in to him, succumb to him, and allow him to cause them to do and say things that I thought I'd never see them do or say. So he has the House, the Senate, and the judiciary. And if he defies court orders, at that moment, dear brothers and sisters, he will become a dictator. And we will be under a dictatorship.
But he's already defied court orders.
He's a threat to democracy. He's appealed them. And appellate process is there when you differ.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Congressman Al Green.
Yes,
I've called him a threat to democracy quite often, but I'm sick of that talk. And the reason I'm sick of that talk is because Democrats don't ever act like he is. Even when they were in power, the last 4 years with Biden, that didn't stop the so-called fascism. So why should we ever believe anything that comes out of Democrats' mouth ever again about any of this?
Thank you again for your question, sir. I have said that we should not wait until he becomes a dictator to try to remove him. Now, I understand that we don't control the House, but that doesn't mean that we can't still bring articles of impeachment, because if the courts can't stop him, and he has control of the generals.
He's been impeached, though, isn't it?
That's worthless.
They keep trying to impeach the man, even when it don't go nowhere, because they don't really have no true leg to stand on. they keep but he agitates me every time he says they keep saying he's trying to be a dictator, but then they turn around and try to impeach him. First, you want to follow the Constitution during the impeachment process, but then you try to say he's trying to overthrow the Constitution by being a dictator. They be double talking, man. They be, if you really listen to what these people be saying. That's why I with P, when he said he like on both sides, bruh, when you understand what's really going on, when you start to understand the true depth of behind the scenes and understand your government, when you hear this dude, when you hear them talk, man, they just like, you just hear me see me keep putting my hands on my head. It's like, man, this dude, they double talking, man, and they're just trying to lead the people on, and the people just following along. They're not gonna understand. He can't never ever be a dictator. There is no title of nobility in America. You get that from your Constitution. He will never be a king. He will never be the guy. Period. Nobody will. It's set in stone. The Constitution is perpetual. That means everlasting. Cannot be changed.
All those generals that he appointed have to pledge fealty to him.
Mm-hmm.
He has control of the generals. The courts can't stop him. And the House of Representatives, the Republicans, won't stop him. Then that leaves it to us. There are 435 of us. We each have the authority, the ability to bring articles of impeachment. And I'm going to do that.
Why?
Because I think that you have to go on the record, even when you can't make the change.
Well, he's been impeached twice already, and
He's
that
been
ain't stopped
impeached.
nothing.
It
Because
didn't
you
stop.
can't make
Did
the
not
articles
stop.
before.
Didn't stop him. In fact, he was voted back into office with 2 impeachments and 34 felony convictions. But that doesn't mean that I should not bring them and make the effort. I've got to do all that I can. I grew up with this belief from parents that when you can't do what you need to do as much as you should do all you can. Just do all you can.
And I wonder how long is that going to be? How long are they going to keep him or they or whoever? How long are they going to keep trying to impeach him, try to stop, his administration from fulfilling what they promised? How long is that going to go on?
Till midterm.
Why you say midterm?
Because that's what they're pushing for. Because in midterms is when they're going to start trying to change the House. They can start doing new votes. You know what I'm saying? They're I forgot what it's called. See right now, even I'm slacking. But that's they're shooting for the midterms, bro. Trust me.
So basically their strategy is just trying to sway who they lost back over to them, and then hopefully try to sway some of the Republicans on their side.
Win some of their seats back, yeah, so they can
Yeah.
get more control, get some type of control back.
Control over the House or the Senate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking this shit ain't making no sense. They just still trying and trying, even though we already felt like they were never going to give up anyway. But it's like, wow, they still trying. But that makes sense.
I'm like, there's still
There's a song.
There's still a little hope for them. There's still a little hope for them, like, you know what I'm saying, getting a couple chairs back and get some that way they can veto, and you know what I'm saying, and all of these bills and stuff that's getting passed, they won't get passed. That's really what it is. Trump ain't going nowhere. He's the president. He ain't going nowhere. But but if they can get enough people in there, flip a couple chairs, then they can start blocking stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what it is. That's what it is. They setting up for volleyball blocks and stuff.
I get it.
Raise our voices when they raise theirs. We cannot let them just have the opportunity to proclaim themselves patriots.
That's right.
While we sit silent.
But that's why they missed the moment with you the other night. All of them should have walked out with you in that moment. That would have made a hell of a statement. They should have been just as disruptive. After they kicked you out, somebody else should have stood up and been just as disruptive.
Well, I do think that there will be additional moments. And you have now sounded the alarm. I think people are paying attention. I would only say I try to lead by example. If you think I'm a good example, then follow me.
You're a great example, my brother.
Right. Well,
you believe more than I do. But at least you gave us something to believe in.
That's right. Well, you're very kind. You're very kind. And if I may, I don't know whether we're near the end here, but I want to thank you for bringing a degree of clarity that is is not presented in traditional fashions. You have courage. You have courage. You say what's on your mind. It's a very difficult thing to do for most people.
Man, this is one reason why I've never liked the Breakfast Club. I ain't even liked the Breakfast Club when I was into making music. It's that program ain't doing nothing but leading people down the wrong path, down the wrong hole, just like the View, man. That whole platform is just terrible, man. Charlemagne, he pitiful, bro, pitiful. You know what
I
I'm saying? He
mean,
he helps promote
Like
black
stage.
crime and everything else, man. Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Phil. I mean,
oh
Phil.
no, I was just saying that he did propose, the opposite, argument to him, while the other two hosts was agreeing.
Yeah, he
Charlemagne
was
was
saying he
telling
was
them
talking
like,
about how they
He wasn't
that they
opposing. He
weak,
asked the
that
question.
they. Well, he
well,
was
yeah,
he
I
was
mean,
calling them out though. He
yeah,
was
he
calling them
was.
out,
Like, he
telling them
was
how they
technically like,
cowards
he
and
was
they
the only
weak,
one, calling them out to an extent.
and he was
He,
basically
ca-
telling them that
he-
they ain't never gonna be successful.
every once in a while, he do call out the Democratic Party. So I'm not just going straight, just 100% put him down. But at the same time, it's more. But at the same time, he'll put him down. But at the same time, they turn around and back him. Oh yeah, you're a great man to follow. No, he is not.
Yeah, I was about to say Charlemagne. To me, he be straddling the fence a lot.
Exactly.
He be trying to stay in the safe waters.
Boy, she got saddle rash by now.
I feel like he might be. I feel like he might be Democrat though. I feel like he calling out his own
Oh,
party.
he
Or
That's what I think.
or independent, either or, you know what I mean? That's how I was looking
I
at
think
it.
he might definitely be leaning more towards Democrat.
no,
Yeah.
he definitely
Yeah,
Democrat.
every
Mhm.
He helped promote Kamala.
Yep.
He definitely Democrat.
Yep. And you remember what his boy Joe told him? Had to put him in his place. Remind him he was black.
Oh yeah.
JB.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I can't rock with the Breakfast Club. I've never rocked with the Breakfast Club, and the crazy thing is I grew up being Democratic
Mhm.
until I started learning until I started peeping game. It's like, okay, black people mostly choose the Democratic Party, and who is always on the bottom end of statistics? The black community. So why would I keep choosing a party that always had me in the bottom statistics? Every 4 years they come up with these policies and then they don't follow through with them. Never. That's why what Trump doing right now looks crazy. That man said, "I'm going to do this, and this." On January 20, he started. I'm doing this. Yep. I said I was going to do this. That boy went ham. They were like, "Oh, he moving too fast. Oh, whoa. He's trying to be a dictator." No, he moving fast. He's doing transparency. That boy, matter of fact, that they done created a whole, like I said, they posting every day. Every day. You can't tell me you don't want an administration that's going to be this transparent with you, man. I want to know what's going on. I want to know. Well, I'm a hush on the taxes, but yeah, people should know where they tax money going. Y'all should know where y'all's tax money going.
Yep. I agree.
If people in the comments caught what I just did right there, but yeah, y'all should know where y'all tax money going. You should know if you giving it to them. If you're gonna voluntarily give your tax, because the tax system is voluntary, whether you know it or not. It is voluntary. But if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna volunteer to do that, know where your money goes. I don't think nobody should be paying in no Social Security to someone 306 years old.
Yeah.
Nah.
And there's quite a few of them up in the age like that too.
That make me wanted to, man. When I heard that, man, that make me wanted to go fill out that W-8 bin form. And I'm telling y'all right now, the people, a little bit more knowledge for y'all people, man. That's the IRS form. W, the number 8, and BEN. That's one way to get everything stopped from coming up out of your check. No Social Security.
They'll give him free game.
No federal, no state taxes, zero. But you got to understand what you're doing. That ain't something that you just fill out and take to HR, because that's where it goes. It goes to HR, and then they gonna send it off to IRS. So let me stop getting a little too much, because people go, yeah, let me go get down, start feeling. No, sir, I'm not telling you that. I am not an attorney, and nor am I giving you legal advice.
All right. Y'all go ahead and scratch your head on that. Do your research.
I'm about to say he don't never give it out for free like that. Nah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, y'all let us know what y'all feel on the comments, man. Do y'all feel like Al Green was right? Do y'all disagree? Do y'all really believe Trump is trying to cut Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare? Let us know what y'all think. Tap in, man. Tap in.
And we out.
Brothers come tap in. Brothers come tap in. Brothers come tap in, come tap in, come tap in. Bringing that substance straight to the public. No capping, no bluffing. Now run it up, buddy. Brothers come tap in. Come tap in, come tap in.